Recently, I was asked if I wanted to hydrodip a PowerGlide transmission for a dragster. I said yes, but halfway through the process, I realized I probably should have said no, as this turned out to be a lot more difficult than anticipated. I shared the end result on my Facebook page, and it got quite a bit of attention, and now a lot of people, for some strange reason, want me to hydrodip their transmissions, which is both great and terrifying all at the same time, because this was not fun to do. Alongside that, I did these two 1JZ valve covers in an anime graphic, and this BMW valve cover in carbon. The transmission was the only piece brought to me that was semi-clean. These guys were caked in 20 years of spray paint and Vin Diesel. So I had these sandblasted, removed the baffles. I highly recommend removing baffles. You can see all the sand that was left inside them. Fortunately, the BMW valve cover already had its baffles removed. Dawn dish soap is your best friend. I use that to clean and degrease everything that I do. After that, I put them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. This lifts and burns off any oil that may or may not have soaked into the metal. Shockingly, this transmission does not fit inside my household oven, so I went over this several times with dish soap and water to ensure I got it as clean as I possibly could. Taping this transmission off took as long, if not longer, than prepping and cleaning it, but I did not want to get paint or graphics in holes and orifices that they do not belong in, and I definitely did not want the customer to put this transmission back together and find fake carbon fiber in a place that it shouldn't be and then get punched in the face. Trademark secret, pay attention. If you have holes that are threaded and you want to plug them, roll up paper towel and put them inside the hole. You're welcome. Once everything is taped off and cleaned, it is time for primer. All these parts are aluminum. The best thing I have found for aluminum is an epoxy primer. I use Tamco's Direct to Anything epoxy. Been using it for 6 years now. It is the best product I have found. It bites the metal really good. I have done hundreds and hundreds of parts in this primer, and I have nothing bad to say about it. You can top coat it 7 days after you spray it without wet sanding, which is extremely beneficial for me because when I'm doing a batch at 25 or 30 parts and I don't have time to wet sand everything, that is a big plus. This primer does take a hot minute to dry. I usually wait 12 hours before top coating it. If I am rushing, 6 hours is still the absolute minimum that I will wait. For this anime graphic, we usually do a white base coat, but what I have found over the years is that with engine heat, eventually, no matter what, the white will yellow. So, as an alternative, I'm using Duplicolor's Metal Cast base. It is a really fine metallic silver kind of aluminum color that's going to give us the same popping effect as white would, but we're not going to get yellowing 2 or 3 years down the road. This graphic is made by Hydra Monkeys. I buy it from AtlanticHydro.com. They have like 600 graphics to choose from. They've been a great company to work with. This carbon fiber I've been buying for 8 years from Liquid Print. It is hands down the most realistic fake carbon fiber I have ever found. If you don't tape the edges of the graphic, it will literally roll in on itself once it hits the water. If you've watched my videos before, this is all repeat information to you. If you have not watched my videos before, now you know. A lot of people ask me if this is just water or if there are chemicals in it, and I assure you it is just warm water. I tested this theory by jumping in it last week, and as of yet, I have no abnormal growths on my body. One side of the graphic is activated by the water. The other side of the graphic is activated by the activator that you spray on top. So it is important to know which is which. You can do so by getting the tip of your fingers wet and touching the edge of the graphic. The side that sticks to your finger is the side that goes down on the water. This water is usually between 90 and 100 degrees. Depending on the temperature of the water will negate how long it sits on the water. 95 degrees, usually a minute, 5 seconds or so, and you're good to go. The activator is probably where 90% of hydrodip problems lie. Depending on your gun, what it's set at, how big the tip is, will negate how much you lay down. I have mine set up so where I can do 3 even passes, and it has been extremely consistent. The reason you always see us hydrodippers going in at an angle is so that air bubbles do not get trapped. At this point, I realized that the tape job I had done had created some air tightness, and it basically was like trying to sink a balloon, and then once it filled up with water, it was 200 pounds. After you dip the part, you're left with kind of this weird slime coating, so that's why you always see people rinsing the parts off when you're done. You see it's really sudsy. So after the coat starts to come off, it'll start to look matte and you will get less bubblies. This graphic is a cool one to watch. It kind of wrinkles up on itself as soon as it starts to react with the water, and then it'll start to level out right before you spray the activator. I sincerely apologize if that music was a bit much, but I do this every single day, so I was trying to make what is mundane and boring to me a little more spicy with upbeat music. Anyways, 12 hours later, you let this sit overnight. This allows the graphic to gas out. I use Tamco's Euro Clear on everything I do. There are definitely more expensive clears out there. This was turned on to me by a professional painter, and I now know multiple professional painters that use it and love it. Goes on really easy. I am by no means a professional painter, and this stuff kind of makes me look like I know what I'm doing. On the first coat, I always go kind of light, just give everything a chance to get acquainted. You know, you don't want them to get a divorce, too soon down the road, so make sure that everybody loves each other. And then on the second and third coat, that's usually when I go ham and make sure everybody's nice and glossy, would be the family appropriate term. So this tipped over, saw a little spider web, thought I should probably take a look inside. Lo and behold, there's a freaking black widow in there. That is a male, and he's gonna die.